Hey, welcome to another episode, everybody. I'm Rob.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Andi.
And this is
Everybody in the Conference Room.
That's right. Welcome to another episode. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening and supporting the show. Wherever you get your podcast, make sure you subscribe and leave a review. Tell a friend, all that good stuff. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/anofficepod. Tonight at the after party, we are talking about the Mandela effect, as promised last week. So make sure you check that out. And speaking of Patreon, I want to say thanks to our $20 patron, our assistant to the regional manager, the sponsor for this episode, Mr. Brian Cavasso.
Yay!
Hey. Now, as always, if you leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, we like to read it live on the air, and we will get to that in just a moment. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome to the show our guest, Miss Shelby Callahan.
Welcome, Shelby.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
She is the one that I keep referring to as the cake lady.
Yes, I need to
She's
know
a
what kind of
baker.
cake you guys like.
A
Chocolate,
lot. All the
ice
cakes.
cream.
Okay, I'm not making an ice cream
I
cake.
like
that's fine.
red
Chocolate.
velvet.
Red velvet. Red velvet.
Red
is
velvet is kind of like chocolate.
Yeah, red velvet's good.
Andy, red velvet is chocolate with food coloring.
There you go.
That's yeah.
Thank you for
fine.
clearing
Took
that up
that, like,
finally,
thank you.
Shelby.
I'm
Because
fine with that. I
I was
still like
wondering-
You're
it.
welcome.
Do you know the history? Why?
I don't know why. I will look into that and I will get
Yeah.
back to you. I just know I worked in the deli at Harmon's, and my manager one day, she was like, "Oh, this lady in the bakery wanted red velvet cupcakes," and I kept telling her that's just chocolate cake, and then she would not take it.
Nah, you got to get that red.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
I
plan
mean, I'll
was.
take either, but I do prefer it red.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I take my chocolate cake red. Thank you.
Yes.
So, Shelby, welcome to the show. We're
Thank you.
gonna take a deep dive
Wait,
into.
so can I interrupt for something? I just thought of this.
Oh, you definitely.
So you said you like your cake better red.
Yeah.
I didn't think this was a reality. When you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, let's say,
Okay.
Yeah.
do you like cut it a certain way?
Yes.
No.
Which way?
Diagonal.
Okay, diagonal. I
Into
thought my
triangles.
wife was crazy. It tastes better cut diagonally than.
I love
What? Oh,
Then-
Adam
yeah,
Jones.
I cut
Come
it
on.
diagonal.
I'm not.
I
kidding
cut
you.
it diagonal for my children, and they get mad.
Oh, it's
My
better.
4-year-old's like very offended
And I
when
think
I
it's
cut
the
it.
ratio of
I
crust
just don't
you
cut
get.
my sandwich. I just
Oh.
eat it
See, that's
like
what I'm
an
saying.
adult.
Yeah, you just eat it.
But it still tastes better diagonal
I'm
than
sure.
whole.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I do believe that that cutting your and this is like we're really rabbit trailing here.
Yeah.
We haven't even got to the review yet. The cutting your sandwich diagonal is nice because it gives you like a point to start at to eat the
Yeah.
sandwich.
That's why I'm saying it
It's
tastes
easier to
better.
hold.
So does the corner of a sandwich.
Yeah,
No,
but
because there's more crust. That
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you.
Adam
It's
Jones-
The
crust
first
that-
bite isn't full of crust.
Adam Jones is going to
Yeah.
die on this hill right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Alright.
joining him. That's fine.
I told my
That's
wife she
fine.
was crazy, and then I started doing it, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's right. This does
Yeah.
taste better.
Did you know I had my first peanut butter and jelly on New Year's Day this year? Because my mom
Wait,
did not
like of your entire life?
of my entire life.
You were
Okay, that's
deprived.
weird.
My mom didn't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and so she never made them for us as kids. So we had peanut butter sandwiches with
What?
just peanut butter.
Okay, that's good too.
Peanut butter and,
And-
then like honey or banana?
No,
Anything? What?
peanut butter.
Just straight.
Just peanut butter on wheat
I
bread.
respect that.
And then my friend, we went to the Bryce Canyon on New Year's Day. We were going to do a day trip there and back. And she was like, I love peanut butter and jelly. And I was like, okay, I'll get that. And so then I was like, I might as well try one. And now I
Life-changing.
eat them literally for work.
She's
the other
a new
week.
woman.
I brought a jar of peanut butter, a jar of jam, and a loaf of bread. So I
Oh.
had two
Yeah.
sandwiches. and just
Excellent.
made
Love
them
that.
work.
Oh,
Excellent.
We do not make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for our daughters enough.
You know what? Let's hit pause and go make a sandwich right
Bye.
now.
Bye, guys.
Okay, we're back.
All right, we're back, and that
Okay.
was a good sandwich.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. So we're gonna take a little bit of a deep dive in just a minute, Shelby. I want you to be thinking about who your favorite character is and what your favorite episode is.
Okay,
We'll get
okay.
there in a second. But first, I want to jump into this good 5-star review that
We
was
have been getting, some good ones.
yes,
Love it.
they're stacking up, and this one might be one of my favorites. This came in a couple of weeks ago on September 6th. And it was written by our good buddy over at Twitter, the Lighthouse Stan account. And the reason I know this is because he and I have been talking about Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst.
Okay.
And so as soon as this popped up, I was like, this has to be him. I'm going to emphasize certain words when I read them. And it's because he wrote an entire review using only
okay,
titles
okay.
of Limp Bizkit songs. So this is a 5-star review. The title is Just Keep Rolling, Guys. And this is the bod. It says, I had faith that you guys could pull this off. Behind blue eyes, I just take a look around and see that there is truly nobody like you. I rearranged my entire podcast library to make sure that y'all weren't stuck in the back. And just like this, Y'all became my favorite
Oh,
podcast.
he's awesome.
I used to break stuff all the time, but now I know that it'll be okay because I'm living it up with you guys. This is truly the podcast of my generation. Y'all are truly the one. And then he says, P.S. Really love the podcast, guys. Doing fantastic work. I know. I now have even more reasons to continue rewatching The Office.
That's
so
right.
That's awesome.
this is like the greatest
nice.
review
It is pretty stinking creative.
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
good.
I
It's
like
like
Wow.
it's just dripping with Fred Durst,
Yeah.
which
Yay.
Dripping.
Good job.
is how we all wish every review would be.
Sing,
Right?
sing him a quick song. Go.
It's my way on the highway. There you go.
Welcome,
All right.
world.
I apologize, everybody. Fred Durst. Okay, so Shelby, let's jump in a little bit here. Talk to me. Who's
Okay.
we always like to get to know the guest a little bit.
Yeah.
Gives us a little bit of perspective here. So tell me, who is your favorite character on The Office and why?
Do they have to be already shown so far as the season you're in?
Okay, here's what I'll say. Don't spoil too much, but
Okay.
just give us a little for those maybe who don't know.
Okay.
You
Okay.
could just kind of give us a
I
little
won't
bit of a
spoil
hint.
anything,
Okay.
but a character comes in later. Her name is Erin.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I knew you were going to
Yes.
say that.
She's my
Okay.
favorite because she's so unashamed to be herself.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
And she
awesome.
has a
herself
lot
is
of
pretty
character
awesome.
growth.
Very genuine.
Towards,
Yeah,
the
that's
end of the
true.
office. So I really like to see that character arc with her.
Excellent. Favorite episode?
Okay, the opening of season 7 when they do the what's the video? Everyone did them. Every
Oh,
high
no.
school.
No,
Oh.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Yes.
no, no, no.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. The
And
like
then Michael
one.
has like the little confetti popper and the hat, and
And the little
Creed's playing
dove.
and Creed's playing the guitar.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like the
that was
single
awesome.
take video, no
Yes.
cuts.
And
yeah.
Kelly's
Yeah.
like, Ryan, you're ruining everything. And what does she say? I don't remember.
Well,
but-
he's trying to promote Woof.
yeah,
Oh,
that's,
that's
right. And she-
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
I remember somebody saying, "You're behind. You guys are
Yeah.
behind."
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
and I also want to share. First of all, I feel like I have big shoes to fill because Caleb Polk and Ethan Pope are two of the funniest people I've
Okay,
ever
they
met.
are
Yeah.
fantastic.
I don't know that Ethan Pope, if you said Shelby Callahan, I don't know that he would know me. I know him.
Oh.
We have a good friend, Lizzie Ruel.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
okay.
We
Lizzie.
share that mutual friend, and also Caleb is funny. Also, the Regulate Myself that I was going to tell you about.
Yeah.
So I was on a promotional video for a church thing a while ago, and someone we all know, Ben Roby.
yeah.
He was recording as he's a videographer.
Name drop.
And yeah, name drop. And I laughed, and he said, Shelby, I love you, but you're going to need to regulate yourself because every time you laugh, it cuts the sound, and I can't record anything for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I was going to tell you, if I need to be quiet, let me know.
Excellent.
We'll
Okay.
just shout, regulate.
Regulate yourself.
Oh boy.
Excellent.
Hey,
All
Adam.
right.
OPP.
Hey, you know me.
There you go.
Yeah,
he's
look
got
at
it.
me.
You mean
Got it.
You mean PPC?
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
PPC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know me.
Oh, jeez. Awesome. And then one other thing I want to mention before we jump in here. So we posted it on social media, but the guys over on Twitter at Two Strike Noise, it's another podcast, they created... They basically added us and said, hey, love the show, but everything's better with bingo. So they made everybody in the conference
Yes.
room bingo.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and
pretty
linked, put a link in the show notes right now. And so if you go into your podcast player, go to the show notes, you can click on that and you can play everybody in the conference room bingo through this episode.
It is so rad. One of my favorites is Adam doesn't get a pop culture
Reference.
Yes.
You're going to enjoy that.
I got this one today.
That's right.
Andy can't stop laughing.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
So you can pull that up right now, and we're going to jump in. You guys ready for this?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yes.
All right. So tonight, Oscar is gay, Jim is in Stamford, Pam is single, and Michael wants to make a statement. This is Gay Witch Hunt, Season 3, Episode 1 of The Office. So as the episode opens, Dwight is at his desk, cutting his nails, like almost kind of with a vengeance.
Yeah, it's gross.
Like
Yeah,
the face that he has. It's like
aggressively.
he's like really digging in there.
Yeah.
Like, easy, Dwight. What are you doing?
It makes me nervous for his nail beds.
Yeah. He's gonna bleed. He's gonna bleed. But he's probably one of those guys who likes to bleed. Like at that point, he's like, okay, now they're short enough.
Now they're short.
Oh.
Yeah. But as he's like cutting his nails, they're falling on his desk, and then he decides it's time to get rid of it. So he blows them onto Jim's desk.
Oh, gosh.
But Jim's not there.
Goodbye, Jim.
Oh yeah.
Ryan is sitting at Jim's spot. And we find out that Ryan is no longer a temp. And when he goes to his high school reunion, it will no longer say Ryan is a temp. It will say Ryan is a junior sales associate at a mid-range paper supply firm. That'll show him.
That like clip of him reminds me of Jim's first interview where he's like, "I'm a salesman at a mid-range paper
you're
company."
right.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's the same kind of like, I'm not happy to be here.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
So then Pam, she's kind of looking over towards Jim's desk, and it's obvious that she's sort of like, missing Jim. And we get a cut back to the kiss. So Pam is sort of thinking back through this, and we get a little bit more of what happened that night. Okay?
Yep.
They kiss. Jim is saying, "You have no idea how long I've wanted to do that." And then Pam says, "Me too."
Yeah.
Which is like, that's pretty crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
they're like holding hands a little bit, and she
Yeah.
totally kissed him back.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it was like
Oh yeah.
It was a joint
that.
effort.
Yeah.
So he says, you have no idea how long I want to do this. She says, "Me too." And then she says, "I think we're just drunk." To which Jim is like, "I'm not drunk. Are you drunk?" And she says, "No."
Oh.
So it's a legit.
Drunk on love.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But then Jim, he kind of goes in again, and she stops him, and he says, "Hey, are you really going to marry him?" And she says, "Yeah."
Gosh, Pam.
Pam.
So there
Somebody
you go.
needed to like grab her by the shoulders right then and shake her a
Give her
little.
a good shake,
and
good
then
shimmy.
whisper in her ear, "Make out," and then run away.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, so then at that answer, we just see Jim sort of start to pull away.
Well, yeah.
And it's over. And so we have a clip here, but it's obvious that Jim is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwight, he's kind of tore up about the whole thing. Let's check out this clip.
Jim is gone. He's gone. I miss him so much. Oh, I cry myself to sleep, Jim. False. I do not miss him.
That is actually one of my favorite cold opens. It's so good.
False.
False. I
I think, is that when he starts introducing the false? Is that like one of the first
I think that's the first time we've ever heard it, right?
Maybe.
I guess
When
you're
I
right.
was watching it with my boyfriend, Trevor said it on cue with Dwight. He's seen like 6 episodes, but he was like, "That is so ingrained in my
Yes.
head."
Yeah.
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 I can think of one other time he uses it, but we haven't got there yet. We'll get there.
Okay.
So then as we come back, Michael is in his office with Toby, and it's obvious that there's been an issue here. Michael is defending the use of a term that he used. We're not going to say it, but it rhymes with baggy.
Oh.
And we find out that he called this to Oscar. Okay? He sort
It
of...
starts with an F.
Yes. So he sort of used this term to address
call it the F
Oscar.
word.
And it was because he found out that Oscar liked the movie Shakespeare in Love more than Die Hard. Now,
Okay,
Adam Jones,
Fair.
have you ever seen Shakespeare in Love?
No.
Have you ever seen Die Hard?
Actually, I've never seen Die Hard.
Are you...
Oh,
You,
good.
Adam
Those
Jones.
who have the bingo cards out and ready, there it is.
I understand it. I know it's a Christmas movie for some weird reason. It's,
Because it takes
Is it
place...
though?
It
I
takes
mean,
place on Christmas
I
Eve.
guess
It
it's
doesn't
just-
make it a
Christmas
Christmas
movie?
movie.
it's just not like Home Alone like type movie. It's like it's
Okay, the
Yeah.
different... Okay, hang on. Wait.
Wait, I'm not gonna lie. When you said Die Hard, I thought of Braveheart.
Oh, jeez.
Until he said Christmas, and I was like,
And
"Oh,
you
wrong
gave
one."
Adam so
add
much
that
crap.
to your bingo
Okay.
Y'all are
card.
killing
Yeah.
me. Y'all are killing. Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, let's draw some lines between Home Alone and Die Hard real quick. Okay, Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Okay, you have somebody who's just wanting to have a party and take it easy.
Okay.
have fun.
I can't confirm that, but I trust you.
But then you've seen Home Alone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but then somebody shows up and causes trouble in an illegal way, and it's up to this person who just wanted to have a good party and have a good time to foil their plans.
This
Foil.
actually does make me want to watch Die Hard this
Okay,
Christmas.
Home Alone is like Die Hard and Home Alone are the same film. Just one takes place in a skyscraper with guns, and one takes place in a suburb with like a BB gun and a tarantula.
And an iron and a tarantula. Yeah.
Where does the mistletones fit in all of
Ooh, don't even
Yeah.
get
Did you say the
started.
mistletones?
It's
Yes.
the best
I-
Christmas
is that
movie.
Greatest-
Oh, it's a movie. I was
greatest
thinking
Christmas
acapella
film of
group.
all
That's
time.
a real
They,
thing.
because they are. It's
Oh,
an acapella group.
wow.
It's a movie of the acapella group Mistletones.
This is
Wow,
this is
good to
a Lambert family Christmas tradition.
Mistletones.
The mistletones.
Wow.
We have a Christmas party
Oh, it's so
every
good.
year, and we
Well,
invite friends
yeah.
to watch. The
It's an
Mistletones.
exclusive invite, so
Wow.
you may not get invited. I apologize.
Okay, well, good to know. If January 1st comes around and I didn't get an invite, I will
Yeah.
have some words.
I didn't get invited either.
You have to read between the lines on that one. That's awesome. So
I take that back.
So he's making fun of Oscar for not liking Die Hard. I mean, Shakespeare in Love more than Die Hard. And so then Toby sort of makes it clear that he says Oscar is gay, and Michael's like, I know, right? And then he's like, no. He likes other men, and Michael's like, okay, well, kind of too far, but
Yeah.
Toby has to really break it down. No, Oscar is actually a homosexual.
Yes.
This is where Michael suddenly realizes, and we have a clip here. Michael realizes that he has made a horrible mistake, but he wants to help us understand, how the mistake got there. So here we go.
And obviously he hopes he can count on your discretion.
I would have never called him that if I knew. You don't call retarded people retards.
Sound
Bad
advice.
taste.
Yeah.
You call your friends retards when they're acting retarded.
Better. Much better.
And I consider Oscar a friend.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
See, it was just a simple mistake.
Yes.
So then Michael is with Oscar. He's apologizing to Oscar, which I think takes a lot of guts on Michael's part. He could have. To me, it feels very Michael Scottish to sort of.
It is very cringe.
To sort of hide from this or let it be and hope it blows over, but he actually goes to Oscar and he feels like he needs to apologize. And I think Oscar's very gracious in this moment. Oscar's like, hey, no, it's fine, I understand. And really what it comes down to is Michael sort of explains to Oscar that he is so straight that he doesn't even he didn't even realize sort of what he was he can't even imagine what that's like.
Well, and is Oscar being gracious, or does he know that if he doesn't cut it right now, it's gonna blow up?
Yes,
Because that's
true.
my question.
I think that's absolutely on the money. But Michael, then maybe as an olive branch is like, hey, maybe we should grab a beer and you can explain to me how it is that you're able to do that to another dude.
Please.
Yeah.
No.
This sounds like a good time.
And I love that Oscar's like, you know what? That's a great idea.
That's
Yes.
really
Let's
nice
do
of
that.
Oscar.
Yes.
He's probably
Please,
like, I just
goes
need
away.
to say this, and he'll go away.
Yeah.
Also, is that the first time I've ever said Michael Scottish?
Michael Scottish, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I imagined him immediately in a kilt with a bagpipe.
Michael Scottish.
Michael Scottish.
Michael Scottish.
It's like, hello, my name's
Was
Michael
that
Scottish.
a British? That was a British accent.
What I just did?
Yeah.
Who knows?
We all butchered it, so. That's what it
Michael
goes.
Scottish.
Oh, that's not bad. That's
There.
all right. That reminds me of
That
when
was-
Michael says in Diversity Day, and Scottish.
It's Scottish.
There you go. Not too bad.
Okay.
So Angela and Kevin are sort of giving Oscar the side eye, and it's obvious that they know. And Oscar tries to sort of deny this on camera, but he eventually just sort of bites the bullet. And I think he shows a ton of courage, and he just comes out officially on camera. He's like, "It's true. Yeah, I'm gay."
Because we've already seen clips of Gil. We already know.
Gil, his roommate,
Yeah.
his friend and roommate. What are you talking about?
Oh, stop.
They're fine.
Yeah.
That's just his buddy.
No.
Yeah.
Do you
What are
remember
you-
when he took a sick day and they went shopping and
Yeah,
Dwight caught
that
him?
was Oscar shopping with his friend Gil. What are you talking about?
Rob Lambert.
I don't know what
He's
you're talking
so
about.
innocent.
Anyways, so then we find out, we finally get to see Jim, and we find out that Jim has officially transferred to Stamford. Now, here's the thing. I feel like in the previous episodes, some of us will say Stamford, and some of us will say Stanford.
Who
I
says
say
Stam?
Stan.
He just said
I say
Stanford.
Stan.
It is Stam with an
No,
M.
it is
What?
not.
Stamford, Connecticut.
The Mandela.
Oh.
Wait, Stan?
The
Connecticut Catholic
Mandela
College.
effect right here, everybody.
Stam. It's not Stanford like the
you
college.
No, it's
Okay,
Stanford.
it's
No,
because
Stam.
Who are you?
Okay, let's look it up, please.
Do you even know?
Please Google Stamford.
Oh my gosh, that's a real.
Thank you, Adam Jones.
Stamford.
There you go.
Stamford.
I guess
Like
you just
stamp.
say it a certain way because you think
There you go.
that would be. A
So I just
stupid
want to make
name.
it clear from this episode forward.
Wow,
It's with an M. It's Stamford.
is that wild?
You didn't know
I guess I'll
this?
say it.
Just one more thing, Adam Jones. Oh, jeez.
Wow.
It's blowing his. See, that's a Mandela effect right there.
Yeah.
I guess everyone just says it one way.
I say it's Stanford.
Stanford.
I said Stanford.
No, there is Stanford,
Yes.
and then there's also Stamford.
Where is Stanford College, though?
It's in California, is it not?
I don't know.
Oh,
Stanford?
I was thinking it was an East Coast school this whole time.
Yeah, I think it's in
I
California.
could be wrong. I don't know.
Oh.
This is a
Okay, I can
podcast about
Google
The
it right
Office,
now.
not about colleges, so I don't know.
Well, I was thinking Stanford was on the East Coast, and I was like, it would make sense if there was a town called Stanford.
Google it.
Stanford.
Google it. But yeah, so Jim has transferred to Stamford. He is there. And he says, hey, yes, I transferred. It's obvious why.
Oh, it is in California.
Boom.
Yeah.
Also, I googled Stanford College where to get the
Right.
location.
Excellent. Good. That's good. He also transferred because he was promoted, and he has a beautiful view from his desk.
Yes.
So that's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love Andy.
So then his coworker, Andrew Bernard, turns around and calls him Big Tuna.
Nardog.
That is the Nardog. He turns around, calls him Big Tuna, which is amazing, and gives him some dating advice. Basically says, hey, that girl over there, there's a girl over in the break room. Oh, she's so hot. Yeah, she's crazy. Steer clear, Tuna. Head for open waters.
I like how Andy just tries to put the lockdown on any
I
person
know.
that he might want a chance with. He's
Yeah.
like, I gotta make sure that
So-
Big Tuna doesn't get to her.
That's right. And so then we have a clip here, but this is where Jim then will explain to us where Big Tuna came from. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we officially get to meet one of my favorite characters of all time,
Yeah.
Mr. Andrew Bernard, a.k.a. the Nard Dog. So let's check this out.
Okay.
I ate a tuna sandwich on my first day, so Andy started calling me Big Tuna. I don't think any of them actually know my real name.
Big Tuna is a super ambitious guy. Cut your throat to get ahead type of guy.
Cut
But
your throat.
I mean, I'm not threatened by him. I went to Cornell. You ever heard of it? I graduated in 4 years. I never studied once. I was drunk the whole time, and I sang in the a cappella group, Here Comes Treble.
Not the last time we will hear from the Nard Dog. Not the last time we'll hear about Cornell.
Cornell,
I
no.
know.
Or not the last time we hear about Here Comes Trouble.
That is right.
Yes, I thought I saw that and I was like, man, I forgot how early that Cornell was. It's
Yes.
literally
Yeah.
one of his first
It's
lines.
like, my name is Andy.
is,
I went to
I went to Cornell.
Oh my gosh. Maybe you've heard of it.
Who else in the world does that?
I mean, if you got the pedigree, you gotta
Oh,
brag a
my
little bit, right?
goodness.
If you
I
got
don't
it, you want to flaunt
know.
it?
I don't know. I just feel like,
I don't know of anybody.
no.
No, I feel like it's pretty weird.
It's exclusive
Own
to the
it,
Nard
Andy.
Dog.
You be you.
I will say, there's
Yeah, you know
much
me.
worse nicknames that you could have besides Big Tuna.
Sure.
Big Tuna's like,
True.
it's kind of a decent nickname. It could
No,
be.
I
that's
mean,
pretty
it's
good.
not the
I don't
worst.
love
It's
it.
not good. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want it, but I don't mind it.
It is weird if it. I mean, for a guy, it works. I think for a girl, it's weird to call name him after a fish.
Is it?
Like a
Is
big-
Big
I
Tuna
don't know why
ambiguous
it's
Like a
for something
sandwich?
else,
disgusting when you think about it for a girl.
Yeah.
named you after a big sandwich.
Oh. I just feel
Well,
like.
oh, no.
Yeah, let's just cut that.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. So then we cut into the conference room at Stanford. You can go ahead and check off the one where Andy can't stop laughing on your bingo card because this is where she's living. She's got that good no sound laughter going on. So Josh, the regional manager of Stanford branch, is running a staff meeting, and we find out that they're going to have a diversity refresher because of some issues at Scranton. Sounds about right.
Oh, wait.
And then Josh mentions that he got...
Was the diversity binder written because when they hired Michael Scott? They're like, we need to get our act together
We're gonna
with
figure
this
something
one.
out.
Okay, I don't want to go ahead, but at the end of the episode, when they're doing the diversity refresher, it's diversity today. It's Mr. Brown is
Yeah,
back.
I know. I hear.
Did
his
you catch
voice.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same guy. He's talking about how they can be a hero. It's
Yeah.
so
I
good.
love it.
We'll get there. So the next thing that Josh mentions, though, is that he got a list of all these places that are opening up from the Chamber of Commerce, and he needs somebody to cold call, and everybody's upset about it. But Jim's like, I'll do it, like totally volunteering.
You said that very snarky.
Yeah,
I'll
not
do it.
Jimish.
He was just
Andy.
like, I'll do it.
Yeah,
It's
but I
very
mean,
casual, but like,
okay,
hey,
Jim's-
notice that I'm helping.
Jim said, yeah, I'll do it. But everybody in the room heard, I'll do it. I'm Jim.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's a little bit evident because the next person that we get introduced to is another character who's going to be, kind of joining us for a while, Miss Karen Filippelli. And I love that she calls out Jim.
Yeah.
Jim's a nice guy, but he's always looking at the camera and he's making this weird face.
Yeah,
And then
I
she
love
totally
that.
makes a Jim face.
I
My
love that
friend
part.
who doesn't watch The Office told me the story about what she did, and she said, and I could just imagine your face. It looked like this. And
it's
then
totally
as
the
soon as she did that, I was like, oh, it's a Jim face.
It's a Jim face.
I have a Jim face.
That's right. You get that good Jim face. So then we head back to Scranton. Michael and Dwight are in Michael's office, and they're kind of peeking through the blinds, and they're trying to figure out who's gay.
Wait, can you imagine being in the office and just glancing over at your boss's office and seeing his eyes all the time? He's
him and
always looking out those.
That would be horrific.
He's just constantly kind of gauging everything. But him
love
and
that we
Dwight,
get to see this.
they're kind of scanning and trying to figure out who's gay just by looking at him.
Yeah. As is the best way, as everyone
Exactly.
knows.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, safest. Yeah, makes sense. It's not hurtful or harmful at all. Michael
Let's
asks,
take our best guess around the table. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Michael asks Dwight.
Not Andy, based on earlier.
If you know what I mean. Michael's asking Dwight, like, can you tell just by looking? And Dwight's like, absolutely. Michael, well, what about Oscar? And Dwight's like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, he is. And I love that Dwight's response is, but he's not wearing women's clothing. As if, like, that's the gauge. That's how you know.
I mean,
gosh.
yeah. I mean,
That is a gauge,
Oh, my gosh.
not the.
Michael then makes it clear, like, he needs to know because he doesn't want to offend anybody. And then maybe the greatest advice that Dwight has ever given, why not pretend like they all are and just not say anything offensive?
that
Yes.
is incredibly
There
emotionally
you
intelligent.
go.
Yeah. What if
Yes.
we just assumed?
To which then Michael responds, oh, I'm sure everybody would appreciate me treating like they're gay, Dwight.
Good counterpoint.
I mean, there's definitely some wisdom there from Dwight, though.
Yes,
Oh, my
there
gosh.
is.
Michael brings up Angela. Dwight.
Ew, and then it gets super gross.
Dwight tries to
What?
play it off. No, I
Oh.
don't think so. And then they're imagining her with another woman, and Dwight seems to be all about that.
Oh.
So
Oh, okay.
there
And
you
then
go.
that's when you fast forward 30 seconds.
Oh, baby. Now,
His
if you would have
face is
done that,
funny.
you would have missed where Michael then says that he wishes there was a way to tell just by looking at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwight mentions that Jim told him that you can buy gaydar online. And they're kind of skeptical at first, but then Michael is like, you know what, we should call Jim and get the
Let's
website.
just
And
figure
I
this
love
out.
that Dwight is like, absolutely. And then
Yes.
just walk away. Next thing we see is Jim answering his phone, and he's like, gaydar. Oh, yeah. I think they have it at Sharper Image. Let me check the website.
Sharper Image is the
Quick
best
recovery
thing.
is that he
Yes.
can't remember what they're talking about. And then he's like, oh, yeah,
Oh,
here
yeah.
it is.
He looks in quotations on the Sharper Image website, but oh man, they're sold out. So Michael and Dwight are
Also,
going
like
to check
how hard he
Brookstone.
punches the keyboard
Yeah,
so they
he's like-
know he's typing.
Yeah.
So then, okay, we come back to the bullpen. Walking in the door, it is Roy arriving with a beard.
All right.
Now let me ask you a question. Is this the sexiest Roy we've seen?
Amen.
I mean, he is not looking bad, right?
I like a man with a beard.
Yeah, if you've seen my boyfriend, so do I.
Yeah.
Adam Jones, how do you feel about Roy right now?
It was sexy for Roy.
I didn't
Like,
even
Roy
know-
is not a sexy person.
Yes.
I didn't
no,
really
I
even
agree with
notice he had a
that.
beard and not a beard before.
Oh my god.
That's about how detailed I am.
It's like he wears glasses.
If
right?
I ever
And
witnessed
you
a
don't
crime, I'd be really bad at explaining who.
Adam Jones,
Yes.
does Stanley have a mustache?
Yes.
We'll get there.
Okay.
That's a great episode.
Now I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
Does-
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Does Phyllis wear a brooch?
What's
What?
a brooch?
What, a
You mean a
brooch?
brooch?
No, it's a
What's
brooch.
a brooch?
What's a brooch?
A brooch is
I can't tell if
nothing.
you're kidding or if you really think it's called brooch.
A
It's
brooch?
spelled brooch.
It's a piece of
but-
jewelry. Or
Yeah,
Yeah, a
it's
brooch is something on your sweater.
It's like a pin. It's like a
Like a
fancy
pin
on
pin,
your
right?
For
sweater.
this episode?
in
No.
general.
Well, yeah, older women
I'm gonna
typically
say
wear
yes.
them.
Okay, we'll find out.
Okay.
We'll find out
Okay.
when we find out that
Okay.
she has an
Does she wear a
announcement to make later.
brooch?
Does she wear a brooch, Adam
A
Jones?
brooch sounds like a disease, like something,
No.
a growth on your skin.
Like, oi,
Oh.
oi, something happened and I got
ow,
the brooch.
Look at this brooch on my arm. I got a brooch on the bottom of my foot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Gotta scrape it.
Oh.
Hey, Adam, check out this brooch I got on my butt cheek.
Oh man.
The doctor
Why are
said
you
it's
mooning us
contagious.
right now?
Anyways, so Roy arrives and he's got a new look. I think he's looking good, and he's carrying 2 plates. He offers to Pam chicken or fish. She takes the chicken. We see a little bit of coldness from Pam. It's obvious there's some distance there, and then it zooms in. Pam Beasley is not wearing her engagement ring.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, and I also love how when he asks her chicken or fish, she goes, chicken. Like,
Yeah.
it's such
Yeah.
a long, drawn-out
Indeed.
decision.
She gotta eat it.
Yeah.
Indeed, and we find out that they did not go through with the wedding.
Yay!
Yeah, baby.
Yay.
I mean, because who wants to be married to Roy? Seriously.
But look at him;
No.
he's sexy now.
No, so many
it's
red
not-
flags.
no,
So many
come
red flags.
on.
Sexy Roy.
He's a walking red flag.
We find out that she got cold feet a few days before. She called it off, but she
Is
says
it cold feet or is it wisdom?
I mean,
Wisdom.
I'm saying wisdom, and I'm saying maybe it came later than it should have.
Yeah.
So it's being
Come on,
described as
woman.
cold
Yeah.
food.
it came after she kissed Jim.
But finally, it took 3 seasons.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
And how much longer had they been friends before that?
It's true.
My gosh, Beasley.
We found out she's doing well, though. She says she has an apartment, that she's taking art classes, and that now she has lunch for 5 weeks.
I mean, that's not bad.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I mean, I do like going to events and then seeing what leftovers there are and taking them home.
But
Excellent.
would you
That is
freeze them and eat
true.
them for 5 weeks?
Might. It depends on how good the food was.
Yeah, they had already
Yes.
paid for all the food. They had to freeze it all. So
Oh, yeah, you
eating
gotta do
chicken
that.
and
The
fish
thing is,
for 5
though,
weeks.
it's food for 5 weeks, but it's like every time you eat, it's like, this is what my guests were going to
Yeah.
eat at my wedding.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's free food, but at what cost?
Exactly.
Whatever catering
What
costs, I
emotional
guess.
health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thousands
That's right.
of dollars. So then we hear from Roy, and we find out he's a broken man. Not only is he dead sexy now,
What?
but he has hit. He says he hit
That's
rock
a
bottom.
stretch.
He got arrested for a DUI.
Rob knows a little bit about that.
Whoa, what? Easy. Okay, no. What she means by that.
There's a story there, folks.
If you followed our when we did our office trivia,
The bar crawl.
the
Oh,
bar
yeah.
crawl, yeah, I
Is that
went.
a highlight on your Instagram?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it
Good.
is.
I was like,
Yeah.
then you can watch it.
There you go. Yeah, if you go to our Instagram, it's one of the highlights at an office pod on Instagram, and I went as Roy's DUI mugshot.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good.
So you can check that out. But
We didn't see any other people dressed up like that.
No.
Yeah, I think you're the
I
only
feel
one.
like
That's
there's
I like
very
it.
original.
like I said back in the day, it was a deep cut. Not a lot of people, I think, got it, but I think you had Adam going around dressed as Dwight. You had
Yeah.
Andy
There's
as
lots
Cousin
of
Mose.
Dwights. Yeah, that was funny.
Saying it aloud is funnier than it actually was.
Yeah, we had Ethan.
Andy as cousin Mose.
We had Ethan Pope following us around.
I saw
As date
who
Mike.
plays Meredith. What's her name? Catherine
Oh.
something. Is it Catherine?
I can't
Yeah.
remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
she retweeted a cosplay, and this woman went as her when her dress is too short.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I've seen that.
Yes,
It's like
and
buzzed
it's,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually,
Should've
I think we
done that.
gave them a Dundie on Reddit.
Yeah, I think we
We
did.
used that as
Yeah.
one of our choices. But yeah, but I so you had like Date Mike, Dwight, Cousin Mose, and then I think they just felt like there's like a homeless guy following you around.
Yeah.
That was me.
We just like picked you up.
Yeah.
He seems cool. Join us.
Yeah, so
Buy you a beer.
Roy hit rock bottom. He got a DUI, beautiful mugshot. But he says he's been working out, and he gets kind of emotional and says, I don't want to take her for granted anymore. I have to win her back.
All right. Good luck.
So it's a new Roy.
Yeah.
We've
I
seen a new Roy.
mean, the beard is a start, Roy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Step in the right direction. Now, it's apparent from this next clip we're going to show that Pam and Roy were not the only ones affected by this turn of events. Stanley was affected greatly. Let's check this out.
I gotta win her back.
Yeah, you do, Roy.
I got them a toaster. They called off the wedding and gave the toaster back to me. I tried to return the toaster to the store, and they said they no longer sold that kind of toaster. So now my house has got 2 toasters.
I mean,
All right. So now we see Stanley mustache.
Okay, easy.
Not
He
only
does.
is a mustache, it's a like
it's like one of those
a
pencil.
well-groomed.
Pencil thin.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
pencil stash.
There you go.
How many toasters have you guys owned in your lifetime?
We bought our first toaster of marriage, right? Or at least for years.
You guys want to hear toaster story?
We've owned a toaster
Oh,
previously.
before, but we haven't
Jones.
had one for years.
Yeah, we just recently
I
bought
got a
another.
Yeah, we
toaster
bought
story.
one on Amazon recently.
We could have bought it off Stanley.
We've only in our marriage ever owned toaster ovens.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sure, that's all
And
we
in
used.
our first apartment, I thought, it's just gonna be easier to put bacon in the toaster oven than in
Yeah.
the oven.
Yeah.
The grease spattered.
Yes.
It started on fire.
Yes.
We were in a basement apartment, so we
Adam
had like
started
have a
the fire, not
so
Ryan.
I had to like
Adam started the
unplug
fire.
it, grab it, ran up the stairs, tripped. But as I tripped on the stairs, the door was
No.
open, so I like flung it out into the snow, and it went, and the flames went out. But
Oh
like,
my gosh.
but there's
So
like
Was that here in Utah?
Stop
no, it was in
it.
Portsmouth,
Okay.
on the
Oh
back
my
east. So
gosh.
it actually left these little burns in the carpet of the grease that was
That's
dripping.
awesome.
But then, like a month later, they redid the carpet and they never talked to us about it. But
Oh.
but I was like, great.
Adam Jones,
Oh my gosh.
culinary genius. I
When
love that.
when
I
I
love that you
graduated when I graduated high school, my aunts and my cousin came out from Michigan, and my cousin was like, "Your toaster is broken," and my mom was like, "Oh." And he felt so bad because he was like, "I broke your toaster. I went to toast it and it's just not working." And she was like, toaster's like $20. I'll just go buy a new one. She buys a new one. The old toaster was unplugged.
Oh.
No.
Now she got two
It
toasters.
didn't even, yeah.
She
So
was
had
Stanley.
2 toasters.
So now her house has 2 toasters.
Yep.
Excellent. So then Kelly walks up to Oscar, and she just wants to let him know that she thinks it's so cool that he's gay. She totally underestimated him.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So that's awesome. And Oscar,
Okay, Kelly is nothing if not like accepting of all.
sure.
She's got a lot of opinions about life, but when it comes to people, she loves everybody.
I can
True.
see that.
Trevor
Yeah.
and I were talking though, and quote what she says again? Rephrase.
She said, I believe she says to Oscar, I think it's so cool that you're gay. I totally underestimated you.
Right. Is that a compliment or not? Because
To
did she not
Kelly,
think he was cool
that-
before, or is I don't understand.
To Kelly, it's a compliment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair.
It is a Kelly Kapoor compliment, but
KCC.
it's kind of a backhand for sure.
Sure,
She's
sure.
like,
Yeah.
you were not cool before.
You were really nerdy
Now
before.
you're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oscar agrees. He says in an interview, I'm totally cool. I am an accountant at a failing paper company. I'm basically Sir Ian McKellen.
I just did that fake laugh because I don't know what that means.
What?
He's an actor.
Yeah, me too.
He's a very famous.
You didn't
actor.
know?
Wait, you don't know who Sir Ian McKellen
At least
is?
you didn't
Adam
fake it.
Hill?
I did a
Tell me
fake
who he
laugh.
plays
Isn't
and I'll
he in
tell
Lord
you.
of the
Oh,
Rings?
yeah, let's just break this down. Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Okay, well, I do know him.
Oh my gosh. You can go ahead and check that one on the bingo card.
I'll join you.
How is that related to what he's saying, though? That's what
Because Sir Ian, he's a sir. He
is.
isn't like
Sir.
a knight, so he was knighted just
Yeah.
because he's great.
That's true. What else did he
You're
do?
not a sir.
No, no, not.
He was Magneto in the X-Men series.
Yeah.
Sir Ian McKellen.
Okay. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There you go.
Those X-Men movies cannot get up off the ground.
Yeah, they're not
Black
good.
Phoenix
They're
just
not
does
good.
not get.
It's Dark Phoenix. That's racist.
Black
No, I'm just kidding.
You saw it without me?
No, I didn't see that
Oh,
one.
okay.
No, I just don't like.
Sansa's
I don't.
in it.
A little bit of a rabbit trail. I'm not a big fan of the X-Men movies. They're just
Really?
not
No.
good.
Not anything.
No.
Are they
I
DC?
like the originals.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like X-Men 2. Was it X-Men United?
Yeah.
Logan was supposed to be the best that they ever really got. I feel like.
Was that the
Is-
old man one?
No, Logan.
Logan is
That's the werewolf.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
werewolf.
No, but Logan, the movie was
Yeah.
Logan was the one where he was kind of older, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
see that one. I
I
haven't
didn't see
seen
it
that one.
either.
Jennifer
Okay.
Lawrence is in the X-Men movies, right?
She's in
Yeah,
the
the
Wow.
newer
ago.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. My best friend growing up, her mom thought I looked like Jennifer Lawrence, and I fought it. But now I'm like, why didn't I just take
Just take
that?
it. Just take it. It's a compliment. You were so cool. I totally underestimated you, Shelby. So then we just kind of basically find out, like Angela talks about like not watching Will and Grace because it's too loud, which it is loud, but it's really funny.
It is funny.
Just Jack, he's my favorite. But Angela, it really breaks down to her
Wait,
really.
Jack reminds me of who's queer? I got Jonathan. Hello.
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
from Third
Yes.
Goodness.
Yes.
The same.
Love
I can
him.
see a little bit of that.
Hang out with him on the weekend. Love it.
Yeah.
We just basically find out that Angela really likes Harry Connick Jr.
Yes.
And
Who is he?
Yeah, I don't know who he is either.
okay, so that most people would probably so he's like an actor, musician. He's kind of a crooner in his singing. People will probably know him best from the movie Independence Day.
Oh yeah.
He was the buddy who flew along with Will Smith, who ended up dying. Spoilers, Independence
Sad.
Day.
Fancy Independence Day.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
He was like kind of like a joker and like a funny guy, but then he ends up dying, so it's really sad. But that's Harry Connick Jr. Anyways,
Okay.
so we found out that Angela just really likes Harry Connick Jr., and then we found out that Meredith just really likes hand sanitizer. Angela is putting hand sanitizer on her hand. She leaves her desk. Meredith comes over, squirts some hand sanitizer, and then licks it off her hand.
Also,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
How did I
it's
miss
important to note that Angela is hand sanitizing and staring at Oscar
That's true.
Yeah.
after
Oh,
she's found out
no.
this information
And
about
she uses a
him.
lot.
Yeah.
She uses a lot.
She uses a lot.
But Meredith, it's alcohol. It's that good
There it is.
It's that
You
good
know what?
isopropyl. So much for that
That makes
sobriety,
sense.
huh?
yeah.
Any way you can get it. Dang it. So then we go back to Stamford, and we have a clip here, but it's obvious that in his new digs, Jim is sort of playing his greatest hits, and he's up to his old tricks. So let's check this out.
Okay. Who put my calculator in Jello?
He is so proud of himself.
One. But seriously, guys, who did this?
Come on, Andy.
Seriously, guys.
Who
I
did
just
this?
not realize how shaky the camera angles are right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I need to know who put my calculator in Jell-O, or I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
I love this. Jim is like to the camera. He's
Immediately
like,
back.
"Stop! No,
No,
don't
do not look at me. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
That is not the last time that Andrew Bernard will lose his temper.
no.
No,
that
it is
not
not.
the
Love
last time.
Nope.
So then back at Scranton, Jan arrives, and I love that she makes a very clear point of waving to Oscar and saying hi and being very friendly to him.
Yes.
Because then she's in Michael's office, and she is reprimanding the heck out of Michael.
Deservedly.
Yes.
For being so obtuse, is the word she uses. I love that.
Yeah, obtuse.
Yeah.
But she is just not having it with Michael. Like, this was way too far. And Michael's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, basically, like, he's way more... He's more sensitive and in the know than she realizes, because he watches The L Word. And he also watches... the show is called Queer as Folk, but that's not what he says, which I love so much.
That's funnier because I didn't know that's what it was referencing.
Yeah.
Now I know the reference, and that makes it way funnier.
Yeah, he says Queer as F, and the actual show is called
What was
Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk?
So I've never seen it, but it was a show, I think it was on HBO back in the day. The reason I know it is then just trivia.
Yeah.
A family friend was actually a writer on
No
that show.
way. I had
And
no
was like
idea.
very successful writing for that
Wow.
show. So yeah. But yeah, it was a big show, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s. And but
just
yeah, it
makes
was
it
called Queer
so
as
funny
Folk.
How Michael now says it makes it 10 times funnier.
So good. So good.
Watch Queer
Which I
as
think back during season 3, that would have been a very relevant, like a very
What a great show name that would have been Michael's version. That would have been so funny.
What would it have been about?
I don't know.
it would have been the same thing, just a
Like
little
just
more risque.
Extreme version of
Okay, what is Queer as Folk about?
I honestly, like I said, I mean, we could Google it. I don't know the ins and outs of
No,
it.
it's fine. It's fine.
Queer AF. No, that's a
thing is,
show name right there.
What would it have been about? That's what's funny.
Okay,
I
here we
feel
go.
like if there were a show
There-
Queer F, Jonathan Van Ness would star.
He would love, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up. This is Wikipedia. So, Queer as Folk, an American-Canadian serial drama television series that ran from December 3rd, 2000 to August 7, 2005.
Okay.
Canadian, eh?
Okay.
And it was based on a British series, and it was let's see, it was a hour-long drama, the first hour-long drama on American television to portray the lives of homosexual men and women.
Okay.
So this was like a groundbreaking
All right.
Okay.
series for American
Queer
television. So there you go.
AF.
That's right.
Queer AF, so we're going to
Yeah.
refer
And it says it follows the lives of 5 gay men, the Fab Five, living
All
in
right,
Pittsburgh,
there you
Pennsylvania.
go.
Boom.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
There it is.
So there you go. Yeah. So it was groundbreaking.
All right, we gotta
So
watch that.
I think
Next podcast.
Yeah.
like I'm saying, season 3 of The Office, I think this was like a very relevant
It must
What is
be.
Homer Simpson doing chilling in the back of their
reference.
office?
And
Oh,
there
I
you
just
go.
noticed that.
All right, so Jan then makes it clear to Michael, look, this is a bigger deal than you realize, okay? You basically outed Oscar to the entire office, and she explains to him that coming out is a very important it's a big deal, and the time and the place are very important, and you didn't give him that option. And Michael's like, well, hey, gay pride, right? Like, it's the gay pride parade. It's not the gay shame festival.
That's right.
He's just digging the hole deeper. We find out that Oscar has expressed that he's now feeling discriminated by his employees, or by his coworkers, especially Angela. To which Michael's, great point. Well, maybe Angela's gay. Maybe they're having a gay affair.
Yep,
Exactly.
That's how that works.
Exactly.
That is how that works.
Oh, excellent. Jan tries to put in perspective. Michael, imagine that you were gay. To which Michael responds, Jan, I am not gay, and you of all people
You
should
of all
know. Dang it, Michael. What
He's
are you
reference. Oh gosh.
She makes it clear that this opens them up to a potential lawsuit. So then Michael then explains and realizes that it is his job to undo 100,000 years of being weird, and I quote, being weirded out by the gays. It's clear that Michael is just understanding this whole thing, right?
Weirded out
Yes.
by the gays.
He is
Jeez
just,
Louise.
he's got his
Weirded
finger
out.
on the pulse, man.
So then Michael is then sitting down with Oscar. They're having a meeting. trying to work this out. And Pam enters and interrupts the meeting because she needs Michael to know, Michael, Dwight is looking at gay porn on his computer. To which Dwight responds, it's okay. Michael asked me to. It's for his own private reasons. So we have a clip coming up here. So everybody gathers around Dwight's computer. Michael is watching, and the way that he reacts to it initially, the only thing that I could like draw a comparison to is like when you're getting into really cold water and you're like, oh, and you like can't catch your breath.
Yes,
like that's kind of how he
the
responds.
greatest description of that.
But then Mike, in this clip, Michael sort of makes his stance on gay porn very clear. And then to calm everybody down, he yells out the name of his favorite podcast. Check this out.
Nothing wrong with this stuff at all. This is fine. You know what? Gay porn, straight porn, it's all good. I don't think we get into this. But you know what? I totally see the merit. And actually, it is quite beautiful.
Oh, damn pop-ups.
What are you doing?
Watching some of your friends.
Ooh, Angela. Dang it.
Excuse me.
Don't touch me. Help! Ow!
Hey, whoa! Stop
I love
it.
karate
All
kicks
right, everybody in the
here.
conference room.
There was. Nice
I
shout out.
don't
Right?
care
Everybody.
if you are gay or straight or a lesbian or overweight.
He points to two people.
That
I love that.
I forgot about that line, but that is
Overweight.
such a good line.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I also love
man.
that when they're watching it on the computer, Meredith's face, her mouth is just open, but she's so transfixed by it.
Well, it is Meredith.
Yeah.
And she had some of that good hand sanitizer before.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's feeling
So she's feeling
good.
great. It's probably the best day at work she's ever had. And I just, he gives a little everybody in the conference room. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, it's a great shout out.
Hey, Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Hey.
Hey, literally owe me a Coke now.
But
What?
literally, that would be the worst radio if I was jinxed. So here we go. You don't
Would
even
it?
drink Coke.
You don't think that I could take over in hopes?
You know what? Why
We
don't you
would
take
take
it
the
from
show
here,
over.
Andy?
I don't have the notes.
That's what I thought. I've got a little thing here called an outline. So
All
then
right, I got it.
we're in the conference room for the meeting, and Michael, he's trying to sort of lay the groundwork and explain. He's saying, hey, back in the day, gay meant happy or lame.
Yeah.
And
Say what, when I was growing up, it meant lame.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I'm not going to sign off on it in any sort of way, but like, it's true. There was a time when like using the term gay, and it was incredibly disrespectful, was like anytime you thought something was lame or stupid. And it was like
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
like a very dark time.
Yeah.
we all grew up through that.
But
Well,
even-
I
I mean-
remember I was during the time where like people knew it wasn't okay, but there were still stupid boys at high school
Sure,
saying
sure.
it. So there was always that awkward like that one kid would just fight you and be like, "No, it's fine that I'm saying it." Everyone would be like, "It's literally not fine. It is not okay."
Yeah.
This is not going to go well for you.
Yeah.
Michael then makes it clear, hey, we're all homos. Homo sapiens.
Yeah.
And I love that Pam, in this moment, she's just loving this meeting. And she's got that smirk. And then she turns to where Jim would usually be. But it's Ryan. And Ryan just does not get it. He's like, what?
He's like, I don't
It's so
get it.
funny.
Why are you looking at me that way, woman?
Yeah.
Woman?
Michael then proceeds to sort of run down a list of like who could be gay. Businessmen, like antique dealers, hairdressers.
Yeah.
And
Or
isn't
accountants.
Kevin just laughing? It's
Oh,
just
he's-
zooming in on Kevin's face.
he's
or just
loving it.
holding
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So, but I love that when it comes to businessmen, it's only going to be antique dealers, hairdressers, or accountants.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael.
Seems bright.
He then, in a just a moment of like clarity, sensitivity, and just like it's clear that he's finally learned something, Michael then invites Oscar to officially come out to everybody.
Yep.
Any way he wants.
Yeah, it's up to
And then
him.
tells him, "Oh no, you should stand up."
Yeah. Well, and also, is this the way he even wanted in general? Is in the
Yeah.
conference room?
No.
And we
Yeah.
got the freeze frame on, but Michael Scott looks very much like this is the right. I'm doing the right
Yeah.
thing.
Smug.
Yes.
Like,
I'm
yes,
the
here we
bigger
go.
man. I'm going to have
Leadership.
him.
He
I'm
has
gonna-
his arms
yes.
just like slightly crossed.
Yeah,
of like,
it's great.
Yeah,
He's very
you guys
accomplished
respect
in
me.
this moment.
Yeah.
He's progressive.
So then, so Michael invites him. Oscar stands up, and he does it, but he makes it clear that this is, the most backwards, like crazy, weird day of his life. And so then we have a clip here because as he makes this announcement, and we look around the room, Meredith, she's shocked, I think. Stanley, he's doing his crossword puzzle. He's not really fazed. And then Creed sort of chimes in and lets us know, you know what? He's good with it. Check this out.
Whatever. Can I sit down now?
I'm not offended by homosexuality. In the 60s, I made love to many, many women, often outdoors, in the mud and the rain.
Okay.
And it's
Was he
possible a
homeless
man
then,
slipped
too?
in. Would be no way of knowing.
No, you wouldn't know.
This is a good Creed moment.
Indeed.
He is.
Well, and I wonder, is that homelessness or is that going to like Woodstock or
I was just
Burning
gonna say
Man or
Woodstock,
something?
yeah.
But
This
how
is a
long does
Woodstock.
Woodstock last? That's just, what, a week of a year?
I feel like Creed's ambitious. He could get a lot done.
Yeah,
Oh
Creed
my
was
Figure
gosh.
it out.
To many, many women.
How would you know?
And maybe some men.
Maybe a man slipped in. You'd never know.
You'd never know. There would be no way of knowing. Let's make it clear that he wants us to know there would be no way.
You can't tell.
Yeah, no, it's just all the mud and the rain. It's good. So then, basically, Dwight decides to make an announcement that he thinks that all of the, and I quote, office gays should identify themselves, or he will do it.
Oh, goodness. Why? Like, why do you need to know who's gay, Dwight?
But also,
Tell me
how
more.
does Dwight know?
How is he going to know?
You're gay.
Purchased
You're
a
gay.
gaydar.
Well, it's pretty clear that he has no idea because Oscar says, there are no others. To which then Dwight says, what about Phyllis? She makes no attempt to be feminine at all.
Oh, boy.
Poor little Phyllis and her little
Dang it.
blouse.
And did she have a brooch?
And her brooch.
She was not wearing a brooch.
Yeah.
Brooch.
I did like, Trevor and I noticed her necklace was just like off center. So it looks like she put it on, but didn't actually
She didn't
care
care.
what it looked
Oh my
like.
gosh.
You know?
It's also sad that this is the moment then that Phyllis chooses to announce that actually she is going to be married to Bob Vance.
Vance refrigeration.
That's right.
Yep.
She's engaged to Mr. Bob Vance. She shows off the ring. Everybody's excited
And
for
it's
her.
a big ring.
Yeah.
It's
Indeed.
a rock.
And
That
Michael is
refrigeration business.
Michael basically says that frankly that's a surprise, and that's proof that everybody has a chance.
Oh, goodness.
Thank you, Michael. The sensitivity just continues. Oh my gosh.
I feel like we need to pull out that big fat binder right now.
He needs to drive over to Stanford and sit in on Josh's. But then Michael kind of pushes a little bit farther. He's like, okay, but let's talk about college. I mean, Phyllis, in school, like you probably experimented with other women. She says
Experimented? You got that too?
no. She says no, but all of us in high school thought you were gay, Michael, with the matching or with the
Yes.
with all your ties and your matching socks.
Sure.
Is what she says.
I would think that too.
Never mind.
Michael's.
Wait a minute.
I'm
Did
sorry,
you
what-
have? Is that
Did
what
you
you
wear
wore to
ties
school
and
too?
No,
matching
it's not
socks?
what I wore to school.
He
No.
only wore ties and matching socks, nothing else.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
There's a story that he's refusing.
There is, but then it stereotypes people.
Okay, excellent.
Can't do that on this podcast. We're very politically correct.
That's
so.
right. We love you.
That we are. Yeah.
So then, so basically, Phyllis says, you know, hey, in high school, we all thought you were gay with your ties and matching socks, and Michael sort of laughs it off. But then when he sees Oscar's face, he's like, I take that as a compliment. Oh my gosh.
He says he likes to look good. Is what
Yeah,
he says.
exactly. Yeah. And he does. Oh, dang. So then Oscar basically tells Michael he thinks that he's sending mixed signals about Oscar being there. Michael makes it clear, no, the only signal I'm sending is gay good.
Yeah.
Michael then proceeds, in some way this is supposed to make it better, that if he was gay, he would be the most flamboyant gay you ever saw. He would be in the parade with all the feathers. Mm-hmm. All that good stuff.
I feel like he'd
Waving
get along
that
with
rainbow
Jonathan.
flag.
Like,
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. At this point,
overcompensating a little, I feel.
a little bit, yeah. Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah.
At this point, Oscar's had enough. He looks over at Toby. He's like, I think I might quit. This has been my worst day working here. He gets up to leave, but Michael stops him. He says he wants to make a statement together. He tries to hold Oscar to embrace him. And this is where Oscar loses his cool. Oscar has been taken to the edge. He pushes Michael away. He yells at him. He's like, did you ever think that maybe I don't want to touch you?
I know,
Good point.
that's fair.
Good
Yeah.
point.
He's saying you're ignorant, you're small.
Okay, now all of these things are true and
Sure.
deserved, but
It's a little
man,
harsh.
like I feel like I
Yeah.
would have been able to handle that well in first season. I was
Sure.
thinking that too.
Sure.
Before you really know and begin to really like
Yeah.
find Michael
Yeah.
endearing.
Yeah.
But now I'm sad for him.
Yeah. It
I'm
is a
offended
little-
on his behalf.
No.
Like Oscar loses his cool.
Sure.
Although I wonder too how many times Oscar has had people react so weird when he came out to them, and now his boss just made him come out to all of his
Yeah.
coworkers. One of them being Angela, who's also his desk neighbor.
I know the most
Yeah.
judgy.
It's
Yeah.
really it's a rough
Judgy.
rough situation.
It is.
So Oscar loses his cool and maybe takes a little bit far. He's insulting Michael in front of everybody, and Michael is like physically like not upset.
Yeah.
Like he's been eviscerated. He is tore up. Like emotionally,
Yeah.
he's a wreck at this point because I think there's legitimately like in his own way, he is legitimately wanting to make this right.
Yeah.
He's not doing it well. He's not handling it well at
Yeah,
all.
sure.
But he feels bad for
For Michael,
is
it's done in
poor.
love.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so we have a clip here, but after Oscar sort of loses his cool, he feels bad. He decides that, you know what, Michael, yes, let's embrace. And then they have what can only be described as one of the most beautiful moments on American television. Here we go.
Yeah.
I know you are. You're a good guy. You too.
Michael appears to be gay too. And yet he is my friend. I guess I do have a gay friend.
Oh, yeah, let's
Raise the
him.
stakes.
He's going to raise the stakes.
You don't. I want you to watch this.
Oh, Oscar almost knows what's
And I
coming.
want you to burn this into your brain.
Creed's face.
Toby is just like, why do I work here?
Because this is an image that I want you people to remember for a long time to come. Whenever you come into the office, I want you to think
I think
about
I would be
this.
Ryan. He's like, oh no,
We don't
oh
know.
no, he's prepping himself.
Pam
Yes,
is
we
loving
do.
this, and I bet she's thinking, I wish I could tell Jim.
We don't
Half
need to
covering
do
his
this.
eyes is
Michael
what
says,
Brian's
yes,
doing.
we do.
Oscar's like leaning forward though.
And then they kiss.
Oh, that's the worst kiss in the world. Oh gosh. Oh no.
And they both.
Close your mouth, Oscar.
I did it.
He's crying.
See?
Stanley
I'm still here.
shook his head no.
And Kelly loves it. Oh, Kelly. Okay, a couple of things
Yeah,
here.
there's so much going on.
Okay, so number
Kevin
one.
clapped, everybody. Kevin clapped.
Number one, Oscar, close your mouth.
Yeah,
There's a
for
point where
sure.
Michael Scott is kissing his teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys know that was in.
We'll
No.
get yes.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get there courtesy of Tried and True at Tromboner Man.
Oh,
But we'll get there.
okay.
So we have Stanley who's just shaking his head like this is more shenanigans. Kelly, did you see Kelly?
Oh, she looks so happy.
She is loving it.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's
so
like,
happy.
I think in her mind she's like, this is like they found each other.
Well,
Cinderella
and
moment.
the thing too with Michael and Oscar, I don't want to be rude about them, great actors, but their upper lips, it's just a flat line on their face. It's just a flab of skin.
yeah.
And they're both not even, they're just, it's some, it's some.
It's
I think
bad
that's a
news.
testament to the scene. They just were
Yeah.
really winging it there.
Yes. And it's classic. Oh,
Yes.
magic happened. So then, so as they end their embrace, Michael says, "I'm still here. We're all still here." And then Dwight, in a show of solidarity, stands up and kisses Oscar also.
Yes.
So good.
And that kiss is better.
It is actually. Oh, Dwight is a much better kisser than Michael. You heard it here,
Yes.
folks. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So as the episode is wrapping up, Michael is reflecting on the day. He says, maybe love is supposed to break all the rules, like me and Jan, or Oscar and some guy.
And some guy.
When two people find each other, and it cuts to Jim in the middle of their diversity training at Stanford. There's an empty chair next to him. It's obvious. Earlier Pam looked over, and it was Ryan instead of Jim, and he just didn't get it. Here we have Jim looking over to an empty chair that usually would be Pam. Michael says, when two people find each other, what should stand in their way? And we see Jim sort of reflecting that Pam's not there. And then we have a final clip here, but as he's wrapping up his speech here, Michael is reflecting on the day and how well it went. So check this out.
I'm glad if today spurred social change. That's part of my job as regional manager. You know what? Even if it didn't,
In the job description.
at least we put this matter to bed. That's what she said. Or he said.
Excellent. Oh, Michael, I love it. There you go.
He's growing as a person.
That's right. That's
also,
right before our eyes.
I don't know if you ever noticed, there's like a certificate on his wall, and you typically sign those. He just wrote his name in all capital letters.
Yeah, he's a proud owner of a Seiko watch.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that earlier today when I was watching it.
So yeah, he's grown as a person. That's what she said, or he said.
Character development.
And then Michael, like the rest of us, he looks out the window, sees Gil, Oscar's roommate, and says, "Oh, it's Gil, Oscar's roommate. I wonder if he knows." I mean, I would assume Oscar's probably going to tell him at some point. So
I would hope so. He's probably bringing people home all the time.
there you go. Oh my gosh. So then, as the episode wraps up, Oscar basically says, "Hey, he had to sign basically like an NDA, I think, or like just that he won't sue the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in exchange, Jan gave him a 3-month vacation and a company car. He and Gil are going to go to Europe, so he's going to take his roommate. What a nice guy, Oscar.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Yeah, kids, sometimes it pays to be gay."
There you go.
So Oscar's riding high.
You heard it here first.
Pun intended. Oops. And then as the episode totally wraps up, Dwight receives a package. He opens it up, and he pulls out, it's from Jim. He pulls out an official, gaydar.
Gaydar.
And he's so excited, so he takes...
And it ranges from bi, or gay, bi, and straight.
Yeah. So he takes it over and tests it on Oscar, and it goes off when he, waves it in front of Oscar, and he's just so excited. But then as he's walking away, he accidentally waves it in front of himself, and it goes off again.
Ooh.
And Dwight is just doesn't know what to do with that.
He's confused.
And the way we end is this look from Pam, who's enjoying this prank, but then there's this look of thoughtfulness where it's obvious Pam definitely misses Jim also.
Yeah.
And so that's how we end right there. So season 3 kicking off. New characters,
It was
new
awesome.
developments.
One of my favorite.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
Great episode.
Now, here we love to throw it out to you guys on social media and hear some of your favorite parts. It's pretty unanimous across the board for the most part. Over at Twitter, Merc with the Movie Blog, my favorite part is definitely the kiss, mainly because, and I think this is where you were going, Adam Jones.
Yeah.
It was a total improvisation on Steve Carell's part, Comedy Gold.
Yes.
So it was...
So that part
completely
where he kisses,
improv.
yeah, you can tell when you look at them closely and you know that this is off. Because even at the end, Oscar is upset about this. He is, but at the end of the kiss, he says thank you. It's inconsistent a little bit with the script. And then I would have to guess. I don't know if it was all one take, but then you wonder if Dwight getting up at the end was also
just part of the improv.
Because if you're in character, you're like Dwight's character would do this.
Yeah. That's
so,
awesome.
Oh yeah, but
when you look at Pam's face.
Yes,
she legitimately looks like.
Yeah, she's like, what is going on right now?
She's about to lose it. It's so funny.
I do love that everyone stayed in character so well for that, considering it wasn't expected.
Well, it must be so because even going back to the beginning or the different part of the show where he says queer AF, I cannot just think as production crew or actors in the room how you would just not drop dead laughing because Carell just pulled this out of the air.
Awesome.
I would not last.
Oh
I would
my
wheeze.
gosh.
And that just makes Jan awesome.
Yeah.
She handled it so well.
Yeah.
A few more here over on Twitter. Redonda Roughton at Redonda R says the kiss was the highlight, but Dwight coming in for a kiss also kept the laughter going.
Yes.
It was great. Over on Instagram, True Jedi 48, Jim sending Dwight the gaydar and Dwight using it and it going off over his own crotch.
Yeah.
Sparkling Eyes 04, who also happens to be our newest patron.
Oh,
nice.
Welcome.
The fact that Karen thinks Jim's smirks at the camera are so odd.
Yeah.
And then Anthony C. Marciano over on Instagram, Dwight moving in for the kiss. So everybody, of course, the kiss is great.
Yeah.
And then, of course, tried and true, over on Twitter, at Tromboner Man.
Yes.
The entire conference room scene, it was pure comedy gold that also tackled a tough in quotations, at the time issue. We all know a Michael Scott that eventually came around in terms of accepting the LGBTQ plus community. This scene spurred many conversations that helped the world move forward.
Oh, Michael Scott.
He's spearheading the operation.
Yeah.
Always a leader.
Do you guys know Tromboner Man in person, or is
No.
this Twitter
No.
friendship?
I just really like his
Just
handle.
Wow, I need
It's
to follow
at
him.
this point.
We probably only know a handful of people at this point that are like in-person friends. You're one of them.
Yeah,
but
that's,
yeah,
I was
there's
gonna
not a
say,
lot.
So me.
Mhm.
I will say at this point, it's no longer an internet friendship. It's gone beyond that. So
Oh.
What is what?
our relationship with tried and true Tromboner Man.
Oh,
I will say one of
Sounds
my
juicy.
favorite podcasts. They have a large following, and they have like an Ask the Cast once a week. And I've sent in 2 questions, and they've read them, and I both times like freaked out.
I know.
Like,
I've had
Oh,
I've
yeah.
had phone calls read before on podcasts.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know.
phone
and
calls?
So,
What do you mean? Like you call into a podcast?
I
and
call
they
into
record
they
you?
have a phone in line and
Like a voicemail.
and they do voicemails. Yeah, and I've been on twice
wow.
now.
Oh.
And
Oh my
you just like
gosh.
leave a voicemail and
Do you guys
say
wanna
your
get-
opinion on something?
It's on a podcast called The Apple Bite.
Oh, you have to send it.
Oh,
Oh, of
not
course,
surprising.
of course.
yeah,
Not
send us the
surprising.
episode.
All right, and so then that takes us to usually this is the part of the episode where we will break down and give a rating to a prank that Jim pulled. Do we want to throw Jim gets Dwight Gaydar?
Yeah, we can do a quick
Yeah,
Do
rating.
you feel good on that
sure.
one?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's.
If you did it,
I mean,
would
he
wage
also did the
war.
calculator thing, but that's fine.
Yeah, I
But
mean
that was scary.
He doesn't take. He doesn't take
Credit for
credit
it.
for
Yeah,
that one.
that's true.
that's true.
Who would?
That's
But-
true.
Yeah.
All right, so Dwight gets Gaydar.
Okay.
What do we want to say for Jim here? Now, a couple of things to take into account that I'm thinking here. Number one, this to me means that after the phone call, Jim had to go make this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like he figured out
so
a way.
he had to order one.
He had to order
then
one and
make
then
adjustments to
make
it.
labels to it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and then send it.
so are we assuming that it's just like a metal detector, basically?
Yeah,
Like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
it
gonna
has
go-
to be.
okay.
It's like
Okay.
a wand that TSA
Yeah.
would use.
Yeah.
So he had to order this, probably not cheap.
No.
Yeah.
And then he had to do the labels on it and
Yeah.
all
His
that.
commitment
And
to the joke.
he foresaw that it would go off on,
On
I guess,
him.
Dwight's belt
Maybe,
buckle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so-
that's where it went off for Oscar.
Exactly.
There's no medal
Exactly.
above.
All right, so what do we say? So here's what I want to do. We'll give it a rating. Shelby, we're going to let you throw in an honorable mention here. We're going to
Okay.
let you rate it.
Okay.
Okay? But I want to hear, what do you guys think? Dwight gets Gaydar.
Okay, I will say it's hard because I'm comparing it to the rest, and the rest are really good. But I'll say 4.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. let's take that.
6.
6. Oh, okay.
Whoa. Okay.
Shelby, what say you?
Okay, listen. I say 8.
Wow.
yeah.
Could you imagine Dwight Schrute going home to his beet farm and just sitting there thinking, "Am I
Stewing.
gay?"
Am I gay? That's true.
Because
That's
he just got
What does
sent.
this mean for my
He's so
life now?
worried.
And
Oh.
also, like, he's like all that stuff with Angela, and he's thinking she is a Christian woman. Who,
That's
I'm in
really
so
not
much
going to like
trouble.
me.
Oh, that's so good. All right. I'm going to give it a 6, which is going to give it a total of...
I was low. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't take it back.
no,
I'm
you
proud.
gave it half the score
Good.
I did.
That's right. That's going to give it a 16. Nowhere close to the leader. Of course, in the lead still, tried and true. Never. Will it be dethroned? Who knows? Originally, we called it Jim Puts Dwight's Desk in the Bathroom, but last week, Andi affectionately renamed it Poop Desk. So,
Yes.
season 2, episode 6, The Fight, 26 Shroot Bucks out of 30, the Poop Desk. So there you go. Now we like to head over to that good Dunder Mifflin subreddit and look at some
Oh,
quality.
you didn't say good.
That's
I
right.
was
I'm trying to
waiting
make it
for
harder.
I got my
There you go.
bingo card out.
I'm trying to make it
Good,
harder
good.
on the bingo crew. We like to head over to that good Dunder Mifflin subreddit and look at some quality content from Mr. Adam Jones. What do you got for us tonight, my friend?
So I picked one that is a little bit doesn't have as much upvotes as it deserves at the subreddit Dunder Mifflin, but I picked it because I thought maybe there's an off chance this person would make me and send me this.
Oh, baby.
Because it's great. It's funny. It references an episode that's ahead of us right now. Couldn't find anything relevant to this episode, unfortunately. But if I got this in the mail, I would 100%.
Hint, hint.
100%. Yeah, hint,
Okay.
user CP
Tutoro.
Tutoro. I would hang this in my house.
Is there a way? I'm not a Reddit user really. Is there a way to like message someone on Reddit?
Oh,
if you
yeah,
make a Reddit
yeah, you
account,
can DM
yeah.
them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
For
can
sure.
DM them.
You can follow them,
Just
DM
DM
them.
them.
I'm gonna tell when I give them the Dundie.
The
I'm gonna
Dundie.
tell them,
Yeah.
please send me one.
Okay.
It's just so
Oh my God.
tasteful.
They will rape us.
Okay. You can go to the show notes.
Tiny little beats.
You can go to the show notes and click on the link there. It says Dundie Winner to check it out. But it is literally a tiny Dwight.
What is this called? This kind of
cross stitch.
Cross stitch. Okay.
Surrounded by tiny beats with a beautiful saying, "If they catch us, they will rape us."
Also, look at how large his forehead is.
Yeah,
he looks like a Big Mouth character.
It's
Have
a
you
pretty
guys seen
good.
that show?
Yeah, Big Mouth. Yeah,
It's like a pretty good caricature of Dwight.
It is.
Yes.
It's great.
That is beautiful.
He's
Would
tiny
you
little
I would
shoes.
hang that up.
Oh, we
Yeah.
need
No, I
that.
would,
We
for
need that for the
sure.
studio.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can do
Like that would go
Love
very
That's
well.
true.
too.
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
just hang it right
All right,
there.
user CP Tutoro. We're gonna give you a Dundie, and then
I'm sure
Send
we're
us one
saying
for
that
the
wrong.
seriously. Send us one for the
Okay,
office.
but what is it? It says just finished. Oh, just finished a commissioned cross
Cross-stitch,
stitch. So CP Tutoro made this.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
nice.
sounds like it. Yeah.
So if you
Okay.
want one, you can.
So we need to
commission it.
find the website.
If they
and-
listen to this, they need to
It's probably on
please
Etsy.
make one for our just please send us one for our space that we record in.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd
What
love
do
that.
they if they send it in? What do they get?
Signed
We're gonna.
photo.
could we give them,
of
like, a-
Rob when he was?
Oh, when he was
Roy.
DUI Roy.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's a great one. Well,
I almost called him
that's
DIY
good,
Roy.
yeah.
Both.
DIY.
Do it yourself, Roy.
DIY.
no, but you get to enter into the everybody in the conference room family, and we're gonna open you up to a whole new.
We'll figure out something to give you.
Well, we'll
It's out
give
there,
you
yeah.
something.
We'll figure it
Shelby
out.
will send you a cake.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
maybe a small one.
There
Tiny
you
little
go.
cupcake, but it's
Yeah.
worth it. They're
All right, so
worth it.
that brings us to the end of the episode. We went a little bit long on this one, but hopefully you're having as good of a time as we did. Shelby, thank you for sitting in with us.
Yay, super
I'm honored.
cool.
And I was going to.
We're honored.
What was I saying earlier that you said save it for the pod? Oh, I was going to tell you guys, I always feel like a ghost because you're talking about stuff and I have your phone numbers and I could just text you and say,
Why don't
this happened.
you?
Because you recorded 2 days prior to when you
Oh,
released
yeah.
the episode. So it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
Okay, that's
We're sitting there like trying to be, oh, what's the thing I'm thinking of? What's the thing,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're
And
sitting
it's
there at home
so-
going,
every
come
podcast I
on.
listen to, I'm always like, I
Come
know the
on.
answer.
That's so funny. Any
Yeah.
of our friends out there who feel the same way, please text us.
That's
Love
right.
it. Or if you are a Patreon.
A patron.
Patron.
A
Don't
patron
they
of our
have access
Patreon.
to our Marco Polo?
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
If
then
you
you
are,
can polo us.
so if you are at least a
Wow.
$5 patron, then you will get access to our exclusive Marco Polo group. That's right. So you have like on-demand access to us. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Just follow Andy
Speaking
whenever I want.
of, Shelby, you're going to stick around and hang out at the after party, right?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to head over to the after party at Poor Richard's in just a second. Remember, when we hit 5,000 downloads, Shelby's going to make us a cake.
Yes.
Yay.
How close are you? Do you know?
We
Red velvet.
at the release of this episode, we're probably sitting around like 40 to 50.
Okay.
So
Cool.
we'll see how it
I
goes.
was worried it was going to be like in the last couple of weeks because I was like, I have no time to bake a cake, but I will fulfill a promise. So I will stay up all night and I will do
That's
it.
awesome.
But
Well,
I've got ideas.
yeah. Well, as always, guys, thank you. So you could put the if they catch us, they'll rape us on the cake. That would be
Yeah. Yes, please.
Oh, you just send me a screenshot of that.
That's
I will hand pipe that on a cake.
I love it. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for listening and supporting the show. Make sure you tell a friend and check us out at Patreon for that good after party at Poor Richard's. And hey, next week, or your homework for this week, you want to watch Season 3, Episode 2, The Convention. It says, at a convention, Michael and Dwight connect with Jim for a crazy party in their hotel room, and Pam prepares for her first date since her breakup. So there you go.
Wear something slinky.
That's right. So make sure you check out Season 3, Episode 2. And until next time, I'm Rob.
I'm Adam.
Andy. That's what I had to say.
We planned this. We talked about
I thought
it.
I was going to say Andy first.
Oh. Sorry. Okay, do it again. Start over. We got this.
And this was everybody in the conference room. Bye.
Shelby didn't get to go.
Bye.
And I'm Shelby.
I said.
And this is
Everybody
everybody in the conference room.
Y'all are killing me with this.